Across the wide galaxy, many great species controlled star systems. Some were huge and powerful. Some had claws sharp enough to cut stone. Some had minds so strong they could move steel with simple thought. Among them all, humans were known as the weakest. They were called soft, slow, and foolish. Some alien scholars even called them the joke of the stars. It became a common saying, spoken in bars, in markets, in quiet star stations: if a human is involved, the danger is small. But trouble had begun far from the safe center of the galaxy, out on the rough borders of the Orion Line. Strange things were happening, things that made no sense. It started with a pirate ship found drifting in silence. No crew. Hull cut open, but engines untouched. Then came a second ship, burned clean from inside. No life signs. Still no clues. Patrol teams found only broken metal, scattered weapons, and the same eerie detail: no signs of who did it. More reports arrived. A distress beacon blaring with no answer. A mining station left dark, though nothing had been taken. A convoy saved from raiders, but no hero found. It was as if someone, or something, moved through space like a shadow, striking fast, leaving faster, and not asking for credit. On a small Alliance scout ship, a young alien officer named Kryth Swarm studied the latest accident footage. Kryth belonged to the Trillian species, a tall, thin race with glowing blue eyes. Trillians were known for logic and calm thinking. They did not believe in ghosts, legends, or wild stories. But even Kryth felt uneasy as he looked at the broken remains of the pirate cruiser on his screen. The video had been pulled from a damaged hull cam. The view was shaky, dark, and blurred by smoke. Still, something important showed for a short moment. A shape, human-shaped, moving through a corridor full of armed pirates. The figure moved with shocking speed, almost a blur. There was no panic. No sound. The human swung a baton or blade, hard to tell, and pirates dropped one by one. Then the camera burned out. Kryth replayed the few seconds over and over. Then he spoke to his commander. "There is a human in this video," he said. Commander Rylen gave a tired sigh. "Impossible. Humans cannot fight like this. You know their record. Poor strength. Small bodies. Their soldiers are barely trained. But this one moved like a ghost," Kryth insisted. Rylen shook his head. "Officer Varen, the border is full of fakes. Pirates edit footage to scare people. Forget it." But Kryth could not forget. Something felt wrong. Something felt big. Over the next days, more rumors spread. Miners from a far rock field reported a silent human who saved them from raiders and then vanished. A trader spoke of a dark ship with no ID code that appeared out of nowhere, fired only 3 shots, disabled an enemy cruiser, and then slipped into warp. A patrol team claimed they found strange scorch marks used only by old human military units believed to be gone. The most strange rumor came from a small moon outpost. A frightened engineer said he saw a group of humans wearing matte black armor with no markings. He said their helmets had red lights like eyes. He said they didn't speak. They simply walked past him, cleared out a gang of smugglers, and left before the alarm even sounded. The outpost chief deleted the report immediately, but Kryth saw it before it disappeared. The more he investigated, the more a single name kept showing up, quietly, hidden in old military logs, whispered in old war reports. Echo Black. Kryth tried searching the Alliance database, but most files about Echo Black were locked or erased. What he found was confusing. Echo Black was said to be a human special forces team created many years ago for missions other species refused. Missions in dead zones, in toxic atmospheres, in places where even machines failed. They were trained to survive alone for months, to fight in shadows, to adapt fast. And then, suddenly, they vanished. No official record said what happened to them. Only thin rumors said they vanished near the edge of the Orion Line. Now the strange events were happening in the same area. Kryth told his friend Melly, another officer. She stared at him with worry. You should stop this, she said. The command already warned you once. The council dislikes when junior officers dig into old human projects. I know, Kryth said. But I need answers. Melly leaned closer. Then listen. My cousin works for the Alliance archives. She said humans asked for their old military files to be buried years ago. Too many secrets. Too much danger. She said one project was so feared that the Alliance sealed every record. She said the project name ended in Black. Kryth felt his skin grow cold. Echo Black, he whispered. Melly nodded. Stop asking questions, Kryth. I mean it. If Echo Black exists, they are not heroes. They are weapons. And weapons hidden for years do not return for small reasons. That night, Kryth sat in his bunk, thinking deeply. Why would humans hide a team like this? Why would such a team return now, targeting pirates and raiders? Why save small colonies quietly instead of showing themselves to the Alliance? More importantly, what were they preparing for? As Kryth wondered, a sudden alert flashed across his console. A distress signal, faint, broken, coming from an old cargo station near the border. The message was only 4 seconds long, but Kryth picked up a clear shape in the static. A small emblem, a faded black triangle with 3 silver lines. He froze. It was the emblem of Echo Black. Kryth stood, heart pounding, a strange mix of fear and curiosity growing in him. Whatever Echo Black was doing, they were not trying to stay hidden anymore. Something was coming. Something big. And Echo Black was already moving in the dark, preparing for it. Kryth did not sleep that night. The distress signal from the cargo station kept replaying in his mind. It was short, fuzzy, almost unreadable, but the emblem was clear. A black triangle with 3 silver lines. The old mark of Echo Black. Many said it was erased from the galaxy long ago, but now it was flashing in front of him like a warning. The next morning, Kryth stood in front of his commander, asking for permission to investigate the signal. Commander Rylan shook his head. Officer Varen, we have been over this. Humans do not have units like Echo Black anymore. Their military is small. Weak. And even if such a unit did exist, it would not be out here on the border. But the evidence, Kryth began. The evidence means nothing, Rylan cut in. Strange things happen in the border sectors. Pirates, smugglers, fake signals. You are seeing patterns where none exist. Kryth wanted to argue, but he knew it was useless. Rylan had already made up his mind. So Kryth walked out of the command room feeling frustrated and helpless. But he did not give up. After his shift, he went to the scout ship's hangar. His old friend, Melly, was waiting there. She looked worried, but also ready for trouble. You're going anyway, aren't you? She asked. Yes, Kryth said. I have to know the truth. Melly sighed deeply and handed him a data stick. I brought you something. Old navigation maps. They show hidden tunnels and drift routes near the cargo station. If you get caught. I won't, Kryth said, trying to sound confident. Melly didn't smile. If the stories about Echo Black are true, then they don't like being found. Be careful. Kryth took a small one-person shuttle and slipped out of the scout ship during a quiet maintenance window. The moment he left the hangar, he felt a strange excitement, fear mixing with curiosity. The border stars around him looked cold and sharp, like they were watching. The cargo station was far, and the journey took several hours. As he approached the coordinates, Kryth noticed something strange. The whole region was silent. Too silent. Space usually hummed with signals from trade ships, patrols, or drifting beacons. But here, there was nothing. Not even pirate chatter. The cargo station appeared like a floating skeleton. It was an old model, rusted metal, flickering lights, and weak shields. Kryth slowly guided his shuttle to the docking ring. The dock was open, like someone forced it. The inside lights were dark. Kether grabbed his scanner and stepped into the station. The air smelled like burnt wires and cold metal. The hallway was littered with tools and empty crates. Something had happened here, something sudden. He moved deeper inside, following the faint trace of human suit energy. The scanner beeped softly, guiding him to a lower maintenance deck. Every step made him more nervous. His species, the Trillians, were not built for combat. They were thinkers, planners. Kether was now walking into something far above his training. At the bottom deck, he entered a large storage room, and froze. There were burn marks on the walls. Clean slices on metal crates. Signs of fast, controlled combat. And on the floor lay the remains of pirate armor, empty, with no bodies. It looked like the armor had been opened and cleaned out from inside. Kether felt a chill run through him. Only elite forces could do something like this. But why were they here? And what were they fighting? A soft sound behind him made Kether spin around. A tall figure stood in the doorway, wearing heavy matte black armor. The helmet had a dark visor with a faint red glow. The armor had no marks, no symbols, no rank signs, only the black triangle and 3 silver lines on the chest. Kether gasped. This was no pirate. No smuggler. This was Echo Black. Before he could run or call for help, the armored figure raised a hand, slowly, like telling him not to fear. A voice came through the helmet, calm and precise. Identify yourself. Kether swallowed and tried to speak without shaking. Kether Varen. Alliance Scout Officer. I came because of a distress signal. Another figure stepped out from the shadows. Then another. Soon, 5 armored humans surrounded him. They moved quietly, like shadows with weight. They did not point weapons at him. They simply watched. The first soldier spoke again. You were not meant to find this place. Kether tried to hold his ground. I saw your emblem. Echo Black. The soldiers looked at one another. That alone told Kether he was dealing with something dangerous, and something secret. Finally, the first soldier removed his helmet. A human face appeared. Calm eyes. Short dark hair. Hard lines formed by years of harsh missions. He looked strong, but not the kind shown in human news broadcasts. His strength was quiet, silent, controlled. I am Commander Hale of Echo Black, he said. You should not be here. But since you are, you need to understand. Kether nodded slowly. Understand what? Hale looked toward the burn marks on the walls. We have been fighting a hidden enemy. Something the Alliance does not know about, or refuses to see. Kether felt his chest tighten. The pirates? The raiders? Hale shook his head. No. Something worse. Something that spreads in secret. Something planning a full strike. Kether felt fear rising inside him. Why not tell the Alliance? They would not believe us, Hale said simply. The Council laughs at humans. They think we cannot fight. That is good for us. It keeps our enemy blind. Kether swallowed hard. Why work in the shadows? Because we must, Hale said. And because the enemy we face is getting stronger. If the galaxy is to survive, someone must fight in the dark. Kether looked around at the armored team. They moved with silent discipline. Their suits were scarred from hundreds of battles. They wore no medals. No glory. Only purpose. This was Echo Black, forgotten by the galaxy, still fighting. Commander Hale stepped closer. Now that you have seen us, Kether Varen, you will see more. The station lights flickered. Something was coming. And Echo Black was preparing to face it. Kether followed Commander Hale and the other Echo Black soldiers through the dark cargo station. Their heavy boots made almost no sound, as if they were trained to move like shadows. Kether felt small walking behind them. He was taller than the humans, but their presence filled the corridors. They moved with confidence and purpose, like they had done this 1,000 times before. They entered a control room lit only by the soft glow of red emergency lights. Screens flickered and hummed. Echo Black soldiers spread out quickly, checking corners and setting up tools. Kryth stood near the door, still unsure if he was safe. Hale placed his helmet on a cracked table. "We need to talk." Kryth nodded, but inside he felt his nerves shaking. He forced himself to stay calm. Hale touched one of the screens. A map appeared, many star systems on the edge of the Orion line. Some were marked in red. "These systems look empty," Kryth said. "They are empty," Hale replied. "Because something destroyed them." Kryth stepped closer. "Pirates?" "No," Hale said. "Pirates steal. They run. They fear death. This enemy does not steal. It consumes." Kryth stared at the map. "What enemy?" Hale looked at him calmly. "The Kryth Swarm." The name alone sent a chill through Kryth. He had heard stories of swarms before. Most were old tales used to scare young cadets. Swarms that moved like storms, swallowing ships and planets. But no one believed such stories were real. "The Kryth Swarm is not a myth?" Kryth asked quietly. "It is very real," Hale said. "And it is growing faster than any of us expected." He pressed another button. The screen showed footage of a destroyed outpost, walls melted, ground torn apart, metal fused into strange shapes. "This outpost sent an emergency signal," Hale said. "By the time we arrived, everyone was gone." Kryth felt his throat tighten. "Gone? You mean, dead?" Hale nodded. "Yes. And not only killed. Absorbed. The swarm breaks down everything, flesh, metal, machines, and uses it to grow more soldiers." Kryth stepped back in horror. That is impossible." Hale's voice stayed calm. "We thought so too. Until we saw it." He turned to another screen. This one showed a blurry shape, long arms, thin body, jaws lined with needle-like teeth. It moved fast, like a streak of shadow. "That is a Kryth drone," Hale said. "One of the smallest forms. They travel inside asteroids and derelict ships. They wait. Then they spread." Kryth felt his heart pounding. The drone looked like a nightmare. "But why hide?" Kryth asked. "Why not attack openly?" "They are not ready yet," Hale explained. "They test defenses. They take small colonies first. Quiet places. By the time anyone notices, it is too late." Kryth tried to think like a Trillian, logically, calmly. But fear made logic difficult. The swarm was real. Echo Black had been fighting them alone, while the Alliance Council argued over trade routes and taxes. "How long have you known about them?" Kryth asked. Hale sighed. "Years. But we had no proof the Alliance would accept. Early swarm attacks left nothing behind. No bodies. No ships. Nothing. And when humans tried to warn the Council, they laughed at us." Kryth frowned. "Because of the old saying? The joke?" Hale nodded once. "Yes. To them, humans are small. Weak. Emotional. Easy to ignore. So we stopped trying to convince them. Instead, we chose to do what humans do best." Kryth blinked. "Which is?" Hale smiled faintly. "Adapt. Survive. Fight back." The control room suddenly shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. Echo Black soldiers snapped to alert in an instant. "What was that?" Kryth asked. "Impact on the outer hull," Hale said. "Something is boarding." Kryth felt fear rise fast. "The swarm?" "Most likely," Hale said as he grabbed his helmet. "They followed our trail." The Echo Black soldiers formed a defensive line. Their armor plates clicked into locked combat positions. They moved with the same silent precision seen in old war recordings, humans who trained until movement became instinct. Kryth stood frozen. Hale turned to him. "Stay behind us. Do not run. Do not shout. If one of the drones sees fear, it will target you first." Kryth swallowed hard. "I am not a soldier." "Today," Hale said, "you will learn." Another impact shook the station. Then came a screeching sound, like metal tearing apart. Lights flickered. The air turned cold. Echo Black soldiers raised their weapons, long rifles with blue energy cores. They stood ready. The far hallway grew dark, as if shadows thickened there. Kryth stared into that darkness and saw movement, fast, twisting, unnatural. Then something stepped into the faint light. It was tall and thin, with limbs that bent the wrong way. Its skin looked like dark glass filled with shifting smoke. Its eyes glowed like dying stars. A Kryth drone. Kryth's breath caught. The drone opened its jaws and let out a sharp clicking sound. It felt like knives cutting into the air. Hale whispered, "Wait for it." The drone rushed forward with a scream. Echo Black opened fire. Blue energy bolts cut through the dark, striking the creature. It moved impossibly fast, dodging half the shots, climbing walls and sealing like a spider. It slammed into the soldiers' shields, but the humans did not break formation. Kryth stumbled back, watching in shock. The drone clawed at the first soldier's armor, sparks flying. The soldier pushed back with a heavy strike, sending the creature tumbling. "Now!" Hale shouted. 3 rifles fired at once. The drone screeched, its body cracking, then exploding into shards of black dust that drifted like ash. Kryth stared. He had never seen such teamwork, such courage. The humans did not panic. They did not hesitate. They fought like a single machine. Hale lowered his weapon. "This was only a scout," he said. "More will come." Kryth felt cold. "You have been fighting these monsters alone." "Yes," Hale said. "And soon, the entire galaxy will face them." Kryth took a deep breath. "The Alliance must know. We have to warn them." Hale shook his head. "They won't listen." "Then I will make them listen," Kryth said, surprising even himself. Hale studied him for a long moment. Then he nodded once. "Very well, Officer Varen. If you want to save the galaxy, it starts now." Kryth looked around at the Echo Black soldiers, battered but unbroken, ready for the next wave. He understood one thing clearly. Humans were no joke. And the galaxy was about to find that out. Kryth had never traveled so fast in his life. After the attack on the cargo station, Commander Hale ordered Echo Black to escort him back to Alliance space. Their stealth carrier, the Silent Horizon, moved through dark space like a shadow with engines that made almost no sound. The ship was old and battle-scarred, but its systems were advanced beyond anything Kryth had seen. Inside the command room, Hale stood beside him as the star map lit up. "You must convince the Council," Hale said. "If they keep ignoring the danger, the swarm will strike before anyone is ready." Kryth nodded, but fear filled his mind. They don't trust humans. They think humans exaggerate everything. Hale gave a faint smile. "That is why you must speak. They trust your species. You're calm. Logical." Kryth took a deep breath. He hoped logic would be enough. The Silent Horizon dropped him near the central station of the Galactic Alliance. Kryth left through a small shuttle so no one would see the Echo Black ship. As he entered the Grand Council Tower, his heart raced. High-ranking officers, diplomats, and council members filled the wide halls. News drones floated above, gathering constant information. Kryth walked straight to the meeting chamber. 2 guards stopped him. "Officer Varen," one asked. "Commander Relan ordered you to report at once." Kryth followed them to a side room where Relan stood with folded arms, eyes full of anger. "Where have you been?" Relan demanded. You disappeared without permission, left your post, stole a shuttle, and ignored direct orders. Kether tried to stay firm. Sir, I found something important. Something the Alliance must hear. You will say nothing, Relan snapped. Your behavior is unacceptable. Kether met his commander's eyes. Sir. I found Echo Black. Relan froze. What did you say? I found Echo Black, Kether repeated. They are real. And they are fighting an enemy the Alliance refuses to admit exists. Relan's face changed from anger to fear. You should not speak that name. Someone will hear. But they must. Kether said. The Kryth Swarm is. Relan grabbed his arm tightly. Stop talking. If you spread human rumors, the Council will destroy your career. Kether pulled his arm away. Sir, this is not a rumor. It is a threat. The swarm is coming. Echo Black has been holding them back alone. Relan looked away, shaken. The door opened suddenly. A council assistant stepped in. Officer Varen, she said, the council requests your presence. Now. Relan's eyes widened. He whispered, you have no idea what you are walking into. The council chamber was massive, tiered seats rising high like a mountain of polished stone. Representatives of many species sat above, watching Kether with curious, cold eyes. At the center sat the High Council chair, a stern elder named Othira Rel. Her silver skin glowed faintly under the chamber lights. Officer Kether Varen, she said, you have made claims that require explanation. Kether stepped forward, feeling the weight of 1,000 eyes. I came to report a threat, he said. A threat the Alliance has ignored for too long. The Kryth Swarm is real. They are destroying systems on the border. Echo Black has been fighting them in secret. Murmurs rose through the chamber. A tall reptilian counselor hissed, Echo Black. Humans. Impossible. Another laughed loudly. Humans can barely defend their own trade routes. You expect us to believe they are battling a mythical swarm? Kether raised his voice. It is not a myth. I saw the swarm myself. I saw a drone. I saw what it did. The counselors whispered and shook their heads. Othira leaned forward. Officer Varen, extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof. Do you have evidence? Kether hesitated. Echo Black had told him not to reveal their location or ship. He could not show the silent horizon. He could not show their weapons or files, they were classified, and exposing them might ruin everything. All he had was his word. I don't have physical proof, he said slowly. The chamber erupted in noise. No proof. He wastes our time. Humans must be behind this lie. Maybe he is working with the pirates. Kether felt his throat tighten. They weren't listening. They didn't want to listen. Then a council member from the Durathi species stood. Why would humans fight a secret war alone? What would they gain? Kether answered quickly. Time. They are trying to delay the swarm until the Alliance wakes up. More laughter. Another counselor sneered. So humans act like heroes now? How convenient. Othira raised her hand for silence. Officer Varen, unless you provide real evidence, the council cannot act. Your claims are dismissed. Kether felt a deep frustration grow inside him. He took a step forward. You fools, he shouted before he could stop himself. You spend all day arguing about laws while entire systems vanish. The swarm is coming. You have no idea how fast they grow. Gasps echoed through the hall. Two guards stepped toward him. Othira's voice turned cold. Officer Varen. You are out of order. Kether tried again. Please. At least send scouts. Check the border. You will see. The doors burst open. A breathless messenger ran inside. Emergency report, he shouted. 3 border systems, Halen Prime, Vexor 9, and Luro Station, under attack. No survivors found. Signals gone. Entire sectors dark. The chamber fell silent. Every council member froze. Then panic erupted like fire. Impossible. How did this happen? The border was stable. Kryth felt his heart drop. He knew what this meant. The swarm had moved. Othira looked at him with wide eyes. Officer Varen, is this what you warned us about? Yes, Kryth said quietly. And this is only the beginning. For the first time, fear appeared on the faces of the council. But fear did not bring unity. Instead, chaos broke out. Some demanded to attack at once. Others wanted to retreat and protect only their own species. Some blamed humans for hiding information. Some wanted to arrest human diplomats. A few even claimed Kryth's story caused the panic. The alliance was breaking apart in fear. Kryth stood there, helpless, watching leaders of entire civilizations argue like frightened children. He understood now why Echo Black worked alone. The alliance could never agree. Not fast enough. Not with the swarm coming. As the chamber descended into shouting, Kryth whispered to himself. The galaxy is not ready. The Alliance Council chamber had turned into chaos. Shouting. Fear. Panic. Confusion. Every species argued about what to do next. Some wanted to send fleets. Others wanted to hide behind strong shields. No one agreed on anything. And while they argued, systems were dying. Kryth stood in the middle of it all, feeling defeated. He had come hoping to save the galaxy, but instead he had watched leaders fall apart, unable to act when danger finally stood at their door. A guard approached him. Officer Varen, the council wants you out of the chamber until further notice. Kryth nodded weakly and walked out. He knew they blamed him, even though he had only spoken the truth. He knew they were afraid of humans too, afraid that humans had known about the swarm long before the Alliance did. When Kryth stepped into the hallway, he found a familiar figure waiting there. Commander Hale. Hale wore no armor now, only simple black clothes, but his presence was just as strong. 2 Echo Black soldiers stood behind him, silent as statues. Kryth blinked in shock. How did you get inside the Alliance Tower? Hale gave a small smile. We've been coming in and out for years. The council never notices what they don't want to see. Kryth laughed softly, though he felt tired. They didn't listen to me. Even after the attacks. We know, Hale said. We heard the emergency broadcasts. 3 systems lost in minutes. His voice carried no anger, no panic, just a steady resolve. Kryth lowered his head. The Alliance will never be ready. They argue too much. That is why humans prepared alone, Hale said. Come. We need to show you something. Echo Black led Kryth to a hidden docking bay deep beneath the council tower. No guards. No cameras. Only a small service tunnel that opened into a massive underground hangar. There, surrounded by shadows, waited a sleek black stealth shuttle. Its design was unlike any human ship Kryth had ever seen, sharp, silent, built for speed and danger. Hale motioned him inside. We're going to Earth, Hale said. Kryth froze. Earth? Why? Because you deserve to see the truth, Hale said. And because you will need to understand what humanity is really preparing. Kryth stepped inside the shuttle. He felt the engines hum under the floor, quiet but powerful. Within seconds, they rose into the sky and shot into space, vanishing from the Alliance Tower without anyone noticing. The journey to Earth was fast thanks to human warp tunnels, a new kind of technology Kryth had never heard of. The shuttle slipped through them easily, guided by AI systems more advanced than anything used by the Alliance. As they approached Earth, Kryth expected to see a normal blue planet, peaceful and calm, but what he saw made his breath stop. Hundreds of ships floated in formation around the planet. Not old, Weak ships like the Alliance believed humans used. These were huge, fully armed dreadnoughts with thick armor plating, glowing reactor cores, and stealth systems strong enough to hide entire fleets. Some looked like moving mountains. Some like spearheads of shining metal. Others were small and fast, shaped like hunting birds. Kryth whispered, This is impossible. Hale stood beside him. The Alliance laughed at humans for decades. They thought we were weak. But while they mocked us, we built this. Kryth stared at the fleet in wonder and fear. Why hide it for so long? Because humanity knew something the Alliance refused to accept, Hale said. Peace does not stay forever. And some enemies do not listen to reason. As the shuttle approached one of the largest carriers, Kryth saw its name written across the hull. UNS Resolute Dawn. It was enormous, almost the size of a small moon. Docking bays lined its sides, filled with hundreds of fighters. Giant cannons rested along the hull, ready to fire at anything threatening the system. The shuttle docked inside, and Kryth felt the air change the moment he stepped out. Humans moved everywhere, pilots, engineers, officers, each one focused and serious. There was no panic here. No fear. Only preparation. Hale led Kryth through long metal corridors to a central room where digital maps lit the walls. A human admiral waited there, a tall woman with sharp eyes. This is Admiral Lisa Wren, Hale said. She leads Earth's defense fleet. Admiral Wren nodded. Officer Varen. Hale speaks well of you. Kryth bowed slightly. Thank you, Admiral. But your fleets, why keep them hidden? Why not show the Alliance? Wren clasped her hands behind her back. Because the Alliance does not listen until the danger is at their door. We offered help in the past, but they ignored us. So we prepared quietly. We built ships. We trained soldiers. We perfected our technology. Kryth swallowed hard. For the swarm? Wren nodded. Yes. Humans first learned about the Kryth many years ago. By accident. Hale continued, a science probe found the swarm feeding on a dead planet. The Alliance said it was natural decay. We saw the truth. So Echo Black was formed to learn more. And what did you learn? Kryth asked. Wren brought up a hologram of dozens of red dots moving across a star map. That the swarm is not only real, it is coming faster than we predicted. Kryth felt cold. How long do we have? Not long, Wren said. Their attacks on the border were only tests. They now know the Alliance is weak and divided. Kryth thought about the Council, still arguing, still blind. What will humanity do now? He asked. Wren looked at him with steady eyes. What we always do. We will fight for our survival. And we will protect the galaxy, even if they laughed at us. Even if they doubted us. Hale placed a hand on Kryth's shoulder. You will help us. You know the Alliance from inside. You know how they think. Kryth nodded slowly. Yes. I will help. I must. Wren turned to her officers. Prepare the fleet. Notify the strike teams. Echo Black will lead the first wave. Hale looked ready for battle. His soldiers stood behind him, silent and fearless. Kryth stared at the human fleet, the strange power behind a species the galaxy thought was weak. He realized now. Humanity didn't want glory. They wanted survival. And they were ready to face a monster the galaxy still refused to see. The war was coming. And humanity would not wait any longer. The human fleet did not wait. The moment Admiral Wren ordered full deployment, engines across the Resolute Dawn roared to life. Fighters detached from launch rails. Dreadnoughts shifted into attack formation. Stealth ships dissolved into cloak fields. Every soldier aboard moved with silent purpose. Kryth watched from a wide viewing window as the stars outside warped and twisted. The human fleet entered warp, heading straight for the dead systems the swarm had claimed. He felt fear. But he also felt something new, hope. Commander Hale stood beside him in full Echo Black armor. The matte black plates reflected nothing. The red visor glowed faintly like burning coals. "You should stay behind us when the battle starts," Hale said. "The swarm hunts fear, noise, and weakness." Kryth swallowed. "I am not a fighter." "You don't need to be," Hale replied. "But you need to see what humans can do. You need to carry the truth back to the galaxy." Kryth nodded, though worry still tightened his chest. Hours later, alarms echoed through the resolute dawn. Swarm activity detected. Multiple signatures. Kryth rushed to the bridge, where Admiral Wren stood before the holographic map. Red shapes swarmed across it like spreading blood. "They're feeding on the remains of Halen Prime," Wren said. "They think we are weak. They think we will run." She gave a cold smile. "They are wrong." The main screen flickered to life, showing the battlefield ahead. Kryth's breath stopped. Halen Prime was gone. Only floating dust and metal scraps remained. Space looked sick, filled with drifting black particles, the remains of buildings, ships, and people. The swarm moved through the debris in twisted shapes, some like insects, others like beasts made of smoke and bone. Then the drones turned toward the human fleet. They screeched. Wren raised her arm. "All units. Fire." The galaxy exploded. Human cannons lit the void with burning blue. Missile trails cut across space like shooting stars. Swarm drones moved fast, but the humans were faster. Fighters soared in complex patterns, weaving around attacks and cutting down the creatures in coordinated waves. Kryth watched in awe. "No one in the Alliance fights like this." "That is why we trained in secret," Hale answered. "The galaxy forgets that humans evolve under pressure. Challenge makes us stronger." Echo Black joined the fight next. Their stealth carrier uncloaked near a mass of swarm drones, releasing drop pods that shot downward like fiery meteors. Pods opened before hitting debris, and Echo Black soldiers flew out in armored jets, firing explosive rounds. Hale signaled his squad. "Echo Black, Pattern 9. They dove straight into the thickest swarm. Kryth felt his heart pound. They were insane. No other species would dive headfirst into a sea of monsters. But Echo Black was not like others. They struck with perfect timing, every shot precise, every movement controlled. They fought as if they shared one mind. Drones leaped at them, but the soldiers moved too fast, too sharp. Red visors flashed through the darkness like hunting lions among panicked prey. Hale's voice crackled through Kryth's calm, "Varen. You still alive?" "Why yes," Kryth said, gripping the railing. "Barely." "Good," Hale said. "Because we're not done. Look at the star." Kryth looked. The star near Halen Prime was collapsing. Its surface flickered with violent light, like something was feeding inside it. "What is that?" he asked. Wren answered, "The swarm's command node. They hide their hive queen near dying stars to feed on the energy. If we destroy that, the swarm here will fall." "But how?" Kryth asked. "No ship can get close to a collapsing star." Hale spoke calmly. "We're not sending a ship." Kryth turned. "Then who?" Echo Black flew toward the collapsing star. Kryth's eyes widened with disbelief. "They'll die." "Maybe," Wren said. "But they knew that when they joined." Kryth watched, helpless. Echo Black weaved through firestorms and debris as the star rumbled like a dying beast. Heat waves distorted their armor. Radiation glowed around them. The hive queen revealed itself, a massive shape with long tendrils and a swirling core of dark light. It screeched loud enough for their comms to crackle. Hale led the charge. Echo Black, full strike. Explosions shredded the queen's tendrils. Armor melted. Shields flickered. But the humans did not stop. They pushed forward with raw strength and impossible will, firing until their rifles overheated, slashing until their blades broke, climbing onto the queen's body even as it tried to swallow them whole. Kether felt tears in his eyes. How do they fight like this? Ren said quietly, because humans don't stop. Not when others depend on them. Not when the galaxy calls them weak. The queen screamed, its core cracking. Hale placed a charge on its heart. This is for the systems you devoured, he said. The explosion tore the queen apart. A shockwave rippled outward, shaking the star and silencing every swarm drone on the battlefield. Their bodies fell lifeless, drifting like dead leaves. Echo Black's beacons flickered, one by one. Kether's heart sank. Did they survive? Ren stared at the screen, silent. Then one beacon blinked. Then another. Then several. Hale's voice crackled through comms, weak but steady. Command, this is Echo Black. Target destroyed. Casualties heavy. Mission complete. Kether let out a breath he didn't know he was holding. The galaxy would live another day. When the fleet returned to Alliance space, word of the battle spread like fire. Footage leaked. Soldiers talked. Refugees repeated the stories. Soon, every world knew. Humans saved 3 systems. Humans destroyed the Swarm's queen. Humans fought where no one else could. The old joke faded. The laughter died. The galaxy finally understood the truth. Humanity was not weak. Humanity was not foolish. Humanity was the shield standing between life and extinction. In honor of their courage, many species built statues, wrote songs, and told stories of the silent warriors in black armor who struck from the shadows. But Echo Black did not stay for glory. They vanished again, returning to deep space, ready for the next silent call. Kether watched them leave from the resolute dawn. He felt pride, fear, and respect all at once. Where will they go? He asked. Admiral Ren answered softly, wherever the galaxy needs them. Kether nodded. Humanity was no joke. Humanity was the final line. And now, the galaxy knew it.